Volatility, even with those reversal signals, has now failed to get the higher low on the 2-hour chart. Instead, it is actually potentially even rejecting, while the SPY still lingers in that squeeze-like behavior and seeing if the MACD can curl up one more time. But is the market waiting for a reason? And the reason I'm going to say that is because in these areas, we are very prone to see traps. We are seeing somewhat of still trap behavior, not completely wiped out. And that would be a bull trap that I'm overall talking about. Now, if you think that I'm overly bearish all the dang time, well, we were talking about squeeze down here, and all we're talking about is a nice daily retrace to potentially be a great opportunity for 2026 again, right? So we're just watching this. We're going to get you those daily expected moves, and we're going to talk about the cues because that one is the one to watch. And we're going to talk about if this is a good confirmation down here on the MACD. So let's get started right away here and just give you those daily expected moves. If you need the weekly expected moves, note that those are in purple. The daily expected moves here are 719.07 to the upside, 711.27 to the downside. Now, if we don't get any potential bad or even good news in the next day or so, well, maybe we need to be looking out for what is going to be potentially the thing that people are waiting for. What is the thing happening this week that everyone will be paying attention to? That's going to be right over here on April 29th. So not tomorrow, but Wednesday, we'll get a bunch of data in the morning related to building permits, housing in general. But in the middle of the day, towards the end of the day, actually, about an hour and a half to 2 hours before the close, we will get that Fed interest rate decision and we will get a Fed press conference. Most likely, a lot of the time when this does happen and you're kind of in that squeezing, if nothing bad does take place, what does that mean for the overall market for the next trading session? That means that the range being very small makes total sense, and people are most likely going to hang their hat on whatever reaction happens because of that Fed interest rate decision or some questions answered by said Jerome Powell after we do get that Fed interest rate decision. So something to be paying attention to here. Yes, these are the daily expected moves. They are very small. We could see kind of a dry, drug out kind of market until we actually get that. We see from the 30-minute chart here that we were able to extend this move, but it's not necessarily looking like a ton of strength at this moment. And that might be because people are once again waiting for that event. So we're actually going to do most of our analysis here on the Qs. If you would like to get those daily expected moves and weekly expected moves, if you didn't get them over the weekend, we give them out every single weekend. Please do subscribe if you find these levels to be helpful. They have actual data behind them, and we have been reacting to them very, very well. 669, the Qs actually landed directly on the weekly expected move last week. Very, very nice. 669.25 to the upside for tomorrow's daily expected move. 659.21 to the downside. So we notice again, small range. 30-minute looks like what? Hey, it's in positive territory. We curl up. We can continue to go to the upside. But if you make another 30-minute divergence or you complete the 2-hour divergence here, then that's a problem because this is a signal. When confirmed properly, we're going to go over that. It can lead to a reversal where we lose this 5-day, we see a little bit of rejection for a bit of time, and then we're able to scoop that up and turn to the upside. Once again, this is not to talk overly bearish on the daily chart. All I'm talking about here is some sort of retracement down into these levels. Just note that the Qs could end up retracing all the way down into these levels down here towards that 600 or even I believe it's 620 would be the high point there. So right in these type of areas, we can see if we get some kind of daily retracement. You look at that daily MACD, anyone that's saying that this is a mega trap, we have not seen any kind of signal, any kind of anything really to tell you that this is some kind of major top now. So if you are hearing that narrative, that is just that is a narrative. And I hope that you're actually doing your own analysis with that if you're following anyone that's saying, hey, this is a mega trap. Just like they were saying it was probably a trap here, a trap here, a trap here, a trap here. We were suggesting new all-time highs this year. More likely to see that than some kind of 30% or 50% crash like most people were calling out. So I just wanted to show the daily here. If that curls down, the next good opportunity would be down here, right? When that MACD is nice and low by that center line. Not necessarily up here when we are in that overbought reading for the RSI, which actually proves itself on the 2-hour chart. You see the 2-hour divergence here, 2-hour divergence on the RSI at the same time. So let's go through these confirmations real quick. Let's look at them for a moment and say, hey, what's going on here? Well, the MACD has curled down, but you notice that I like to see that at the same time we are crossing through this 9 on the 2-hour. I would like to see a nice red bar like this. We can put it in red so you can see it there. A nice red bar like this tells us that the weakness is confirming there with the MACD and price action at the same time, right? The moving average helping you out there. That would be a confirmation of divergence. The MACD has crossed. Let's turn that back. The MACD has overall cross, but not necessarily at the same time as this right here. And we do notice that the RSI signal line really, really flat on that as of right now. So do we have to turn around right now, or could we just see a day of fooling around before we actually get to some hard data? We'll have to see. Sometimes at the end of the day on Tuesday, we get a leak and things like that. We'll pay attention. The overall thing here is you're way outside of the monthly expected move. You're at the end of the month. You did get surprising news to the market, so it would make sense to end outside of the 68% zone, aka outside of these areas. But going into that event, I think the risk of a drop is still elevated. You guys know that I have been saying for quite some time that around this area, I took off the longs and I said that I would be patient until I see the next very obvious opportunity because that was such a good trade with the squeeze. So as of right now, I believe that the smartest thing that I personally can do for my trading, and I'm going to share that with you guys, is see what happens over here. Does the 2-hour turn down and then we curl up and I get a little opportunity over here? Or do we get a reversal and see some kind of daily pullback and then I'm able to catch something if I do my job in the future? So that's what I'm waiting for. I think being careful with these things, but understanding that is not a good confirmation as of right now is important. I'm going to give you the levels for IWM. Once again, you see IWM, we're looking for the same thing, right? Some kind of daily retracement here. Note that IWM overall just moving sideways, moving sideways, moving sideways. If that just curls up over here, you're prone to test this little high right here and go make a new one. So if you want weekly expected moves, those are on Patreon, but the daily expected moves here, 279.74 to the upside. We have 274.54 to the downside. So once again, tomorrow's data here overall suggesting that people are going to be waiting potentially for April 29th, when you will get the Fed interest rate decision and the Fed press conference. So watching for that will be very, very important. As of right now, if the 2-hour curls up, though, test the high, go make a new one. We see that the daily is way up there. So I still, at this point, yes, I could play some kind of 2-hour if that's able to confirm. But as of right now, I think that as we are building a trap, and a lot of this can be attributed to potential FOMO, the gas is kind of running out. You're kind of running on fumes here. We would need to see a big squeeze to get through. And even if you get a big squeeze, I still think a big retracement will follow. So that's just my personal anecdote there. But we do see here that volatility failed to curl up the daily chart today. We actually confirmed to the downside. So it would make sense to come down here and test these lows. So as of right now, the daily is failing this move for the VIX, which means, hey, we could squeeze further. But something that I would be very, very cautious of is the 4-hour chart. Every once in a while, I got to pull up a 4-hour chart for VIX. It makes sense. It has more data in it than regular trading hours. So using a 4-hour chart is fine in my book. But we see that gap down there, and it really looks like we're pointing directly to it. So if we come down to these levels, and then you confirm back to the upside, you're going to notice something on your MACD. You're going to notice that if we come down and then we get that volatile moment to confirm, this would be a great indicator to watch. If you see a 4-hour divergence this steep, just like we kind of saw right here, but now it's just making another point, I would be very, very cautious because that is very likely to start to go into a positive trend. That means that the SPY could be at risk of going into a negative one, aka some sort of sell-off can take place. We can look at that RSI as well and see, hey, there's those divergences that led to the small volatility pop so far. But if we see it proven again on the 4-hour chart by making another higher low right in here, that can be a problem. All these things can start to go positive, and we can start to turn around for volatility. So am I prone to be overly bullish in the market? No, I'm still very much so, I think, going to be rewarded by looking at the market with some risk goggles on right now. And I think that this patience that I am overall practicing will pay off. So that's my overall sentiment towards the market right now. I believe that we could see a day where we just kind of linger around according to our daily expected moves. If we get no news before Wednesday, then I would expect traders and big players as well to be kind of sitting on their hands until they see what the Fed is actually going to do, and after Jerome Powell does answer some questions. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I know it was rather brief, but I think that after Jerome Powell gives some talk there, and after we see what the Fed wants to do with things out there, considering oil is giving some inflation concerns as those things have turned up. We have talked about those multiple times, but it is a risky time. So if nothing bad happens, that's what I'm paying attention to, is April 29th around 1 p.m. Central Time, about 2 hours before the close. We will get some Fed interest rate decision and a talk from Jerome Powell. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night. Peace out.